Okay, so today we're going to do a little bit more advanced table, and depending on how well you guys do on this, I might turn it into a formal grade if everybody's doing well. So I want to show you, this is what I'm going to teach you how to do today. This is called the President's Table. I'm going to teach you how to do the different boxes, how to center within the box, remind you about the source note at the bottom. So when you see the sheet, and I'm not sure if yours is going to be green or not, but the shaded ones are one color and the darker ones are a different color. And we're doing red and blue here. Blue is for Republicans and red is for Democrat. So I can't get you the color. I will send a copy of the color one to your sub, but the paper you get is just going to have two shades, okay? So you'll have to ask which one is the blue and which one is the red when you get into class. All right, so let me minimize this and we'll show you how to do this today. All righty. So, and I think last semester the kids actually wrote on the papers which one was what color, but we'll see what happens there. So again, this is the only thing on the page, so we're going to center it horizontally and vertically. We're going to center it this way. We're going to say layout. We're going to go to this dialog box on this page setup. We're going to go to layout again and tell it to center. Some of you are commenting that I talk too fast on these videos. This is public, so if you want to go to my YouTube, just type in Teresa Lester YouTube. You can listen to this again and again until you get it right. Just don't spend the whole class watching videos, all right? Okay. Now, don't forget to put your name in the header. Don't forget we're using size 12, either Calibri, Times New Roman, or Arial. And once again, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 rows. So it's a little too big for the fast part. We go to Insert Table down here. We have 5 columns, and I think we said 13 rows. All right. Now you'll notice when I'm active in a table, I get 2 new tabs up here. One is design and one is layout. So with the design tab, you have all these different designs you can choose from up here. Layout, you have different things like merging cells and centering things in the cells and things like that. So we'll be using these tools a little bit today. The top one, it says, it's merged all the way across. So I'm going to highlight, and on the layout tab, I'm going to merge the cells. Now remember, this is your title, so it's all caps, bold, and centered. So make sure you have those things on. You've got your bold on, you've got your caps lock on, you type presidents. P-R-E-S-I-D-E-N-T-S. To get that second line, you just hit the enter key and it makes your cell wider. So it's 1945 to 2001, all right? If I tab, it'll take me down to the next one. These are the second row is my column headings. So those are initial caps in bold. So I'm going to take my caps lock off and I'll type president. I guess I need to put my bold back on. So I'm going to highlight this whole row, just this row, and turn my bold on. President, years, come on Terry, type. In office. Now, if I need this to go to the second row, I can either hit the enter key or I can put the cursor in front of the words before I hit the enter key and it'll take it down. I'm going to undo because we did that one time too many. Years, we'll hit enter, in office. You can also later on change the size of the columns here, and that's another way to make the words go down. Okay, P-R-O-F-E-S-S-I-O-N, tab, elected, from, and then vice president. So today we're going to learn something new called split cells, and it gets a little confusing, so I really need you to focus. If you look right here where it says Richard Nixon and go over, you'll see that he has 2 vice presidents. So if I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and go all the way over here. So I'm on the vice president. I'm 5 down from the title, all right? I want to split the cells so it's 1 column and 2 rows. So using these tools up here, I'm going to go to Layout, Split Cells, and I'm going to tell it 1 column and 2 rows. And then say OK. Now that splits it and it widens the rows, so you've got what you need to have there, okay? Down at the bottom, if I can get my paper to behave, we also have another split here. So let's highlight at the bottom row. Again, we go to Split Cells. This time we want 2 columns in 1 row. 2 there, 1 here, and say OK. And that's your split on the bottom. Now, other things you're going to need to know for this. How to center. So we know that this column here is going to be centered. So on our Layout tab, we have these tools that tell us how to center it. This one tells us to center it within and up and down, so that's fine. Everything else looks like it's left aligned and centered, so I'm going to highlight this and say left aligned centered, and highlight all of these and say left aligned centered. All right, that's going to center the text within the cell, but also this way. All right, now how do I color it? If I go to President, and I'll just tell you from the key, if we look at this one, we know that the first one is blue. So my lighter colors are the blue, my darker colors are the red, okay? If I go into this, just click in the cell and go to Design. Right here's a paint bucket, and I can pick my blue. Now, instead of having to pick that every single time, I can click on this cell and click the bucket. Click on this cell and click the bucket. See how that works? And then when I want red, I click on this one and I arrow down and click on red. And then while the bucket's red, I just click on whatever cells need to be red. Now you'll find that these cells in the middle do not get colored. These cells on the outside and this top row is a red, okay? And then when you finish this, you have a source note at the bottom. So remember that that gets left aligned, and you type source, and that's Matthew D-O-W-N-E-Y, comma, E-T-A-L. You will learn later that E-T-A-L means that there's several other authors in this. And then for underline, I click underline, United States History, comma, 1997. The reason I'm doing this, every time I get this assignment, do I have to do all these commas and this, that, and the other? Yes, you do. One, we're learning how. Now, I underlined more than I should have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight what shouldn't be underlined and just take the underline off. Okay, so there's simple ways to fix everything. So when you finish, it should look like this. Now, we used to do the little beveled bordered around the edges. That's not available in 2016. If I was going to do something like that, I would come to this screen, but they no longer have the beveled on the outside like they did. Header, row, first and column. I might try that on a little bit later. It should look something like this. You can choose your borders as long as you've got this format. So remember, your inside stays white. I want you changing the red and the black. And if you guys do a really good job on this, I might count it as a formal grade to help you out with tests that you might not do too well on later. Okay? Have a good day.